This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello my dear viewers, thank you very much for tuning in to another brand new episode of Out of England. I'm Radhika Iyer, and if with all the plastering of incredible India you haven't guessed, then yes, I am at the World Travel Market, and this is one of the most exciting affairs that happens in London, where literally the whole world is here under one umbrella. You come here, you promote your nation, your city, your style of tourism, and the world gets to know of it. India has had a very, very special place when it comes to world tourism for not just one reason. Fortunately, we have so many aspects of tourism, which includes food, travel, colors, festival, traffic these days. What else? Yoga, and just so many aspects to wildlife, adventure. But the conversation I'm going to have with these very, very talented professionals here is with an idea to show you how there is another window to India which perhaps is waiting to be tapped upon. I'll start with a lady perhaps. Dr. Dimple, who is a PhD, but she's a Bharatanatyam dancer, and she's going to be talking about food meditation.
Yes, and also cultural aspect.
And the cultural, the color, culture, food, cuisine aspect of it. Eliza is a yoga instructor in London.
Indeed, exactly.
And that's your day job.
Exactly, yes.
And she's a rich girl.
Yes. Next question?
No, I say that as a fact because it is very lucrative. Of course, she teaches the purest forms of yoga, but it is lucrative because in London there are 8,474 yoga instructors, and there is still a slot available for you because there are so many more instructors, and there are still people waiting to learn yoga. Nitin, who's a travel director. Okay, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hey, hi viewers, I'm Nitin. I direct a travel show called Vihari, and it has been on air for 15 years, and I felt there's a need for safety during travel, and I started a small CSR initiative called Traveler Be Safe that has all the tips that you have to go when you're traveling, and you have more to tune in on this show little time afterwards.
Oh God, he sounds like he's the anchor of the program. I am not jealous at all, and I'm very, very thankful to Dr. Mane for joining us. I was walking through the aisles of India tourism, Incredible India, and I saw that you were promoting medical tourism in India.
Yes.
Tell us briefly about you, Dr. Mane.
I am a gynecologist, IVF expert from Maharashtra, and Maharashtra as a brand name for the world we want to promote. We want to make sure that the world understands Maharashtra can offer IVF, cancer, cardiology, so many services. So that's what I'm doing. At the same time, in Mumbai, I have my practice. I also do foundation work, charity work to improve doctor-patient relationship. Recently, you may have heard lots of problems with this relation. So to improve the standards of communication skills in doctors, professional skills in medical students in India, we've started a government-funded statewide movement, and this is all happening back home. So I'm here to promote Indian image for world patients to come to India.
Yes.
Young Indian population can look after the aging globe. That's my vision. The whole world can be looked after by India, and for that India will get ready soon, and of course patients will be made aware.
Oh, that's beautiful. Young India as it is, because it's the youngest country. We have the average population which is about 26, 27 years of age. So we are officially the youngest country in the world. When I say youngest, I don't mean by age, but I mean the youth population in the country, to be taking care of aging global population. So I'm going to be dwelling into the aspect of medical tourism in slightly a deeper way. Where are we in the globe when it comes to global medical tourism? I won't say tourism, but medical expertise. Where are we exactly, and what is our scope to do better?
The medical index, if you look at the tourism index, we are very high on that. India has done very well over the years. Lots of patients have come there. But then we needed more standardization. We needed uniformity of care. People from across the world expect a certain level of care. And if there's somewhere that doesn't come, then it creates a bad name, unfortunately, for everyone. So I think the government could step in here, like we have come today with Maharashtra as a brand name, the state of Maharashtra. So across Maharashtra, if the government standardizes this thing, patients will feel comfortable to come. Healthcare worldwide is suffering. Everybody's puzzled, how are we going to get across this problem? India is the solution. India has a wide, skilled, talented population, large number of people, and we can all gear up to actually look after the world because we want to look after humanity. It's not about Indians or Britishers or Americans. It is human race. We need to help each other. That's the philosophy on which we need to work.
Brilliant. I'll talk in detail about the campaigns that you're leading in just a bit. Eliza, tell us about what you do in a day. When do you start? Who do you meet? And why yoga?
Why yoga? Let's start from that. The reason is yoga has completely changed my life. Difficult to believe, but I used to be very anxious and very all over the place. So a friend of mine suggested start doing yoga, start practicing yoga. And to tell you the truth, I didn't like my first class. I thought it was boring and I didn't enjoy it. But with time, I started to learn a bit more, practice a bit more, and reading books, of course, and empowering and finding other people that have been practicing for a long time. And that completely changed my mindset, and I now find myself much more focused into that. I love the practice. Every day I try to practice, but I'm human, so it doesn't happen every single day. And my day-to-day routine, well, if we can call it routine, it's not really a routine. It really depends how many classes I have, how many clients I'm seeing. I work a lot privately, one-to-one, and that's mainly what I do.
The holistic treatment angle that we talk of, which India has to offer, ayurveda, yoga, different forms of spa treatment, if that's the way, because Thailand is big on it. So that aspect of India, how big is that in, let's say, a global city such as London, which has about 50% of London's population is immigrant population, people from all over the world, young people.
Yeah.
How big is the holistic angle of India's treatment plan?
So I can't say in terms of numbers, but what I can say is that more and more people are definitely looking into getting healthy, be healthy.
Yes.
There's a lot of awareness into stress situation right now as well. So more and more companies also are transitioning from, let's say, work remotely or let people work from home,
Yes.
or also incorporating yoga as part of office benefits. I do lots of actually yoga classes in office spaces. So there's more and more people waking up on that aspect and realize that everything starts from inside, and you need to work from yourself in order to develop and get healthy to the outside.
Brilliant. Okay. And from there, I'll just seamlessly move to Dr. Dimple, who's talking about food meditation. What is that?
So, in India, we have so many different cultures spread over so many states, and each state has its own unique flavor.
Yeah.
And when I was working on dances, I am trained in three different dance forms: Bharatanatyam, Vilasini and Chow. And I was exposed to 3 different regions. And not only food, but the whole way of moving, expressing had its own charm and a deeper connect between food and mind-body. So that is how I came into, I developed this pedagogy called Applied Natya Therapy, wherein I am talking about food for mind, food for body and food for soul. So with Natya, there are certain gestures, there are certain movements which actually impact how we think, how we behave, how we perceive. So as science has already proved, the impact of exercise. Similarly, if we have specific exercise, specific movement, specific gesture for specific issues, we can absolutely change the way a person is thinking, the way a person is behaving. So it's more of mental wellness is the area that I'm working on.
And food's got a lot to do with it.
Food's got a lot to do with it. And the other element is to have each and every food, be it mental food, intellectual food, body food, with much of awareness and taste.
Now we have various reasons to travel to India. The country itself is so beautiful. It's got wildlife. It's got forests. It's got culture. It's got history. It's got architecture, food, festivals, colors, and whatnot. Medicine. But how to be safe? Because this is, I think, one aspect which a lot of people are put off by. Well, we love India. We want to travel to India, but look at the news. It's 20 people just died in that accident in the tourism spot. How are we going to battle that image? What to do?
See, basically in safety wise we are lagging behind, and safety precautions are the best thing that one can take. For example, when there was an accident at Out, dam gates were opened and 24 children were killed in that particular accident. And that triggered me that some safety precautions have to be dissipated into the audience or into the viewers, saying that when you travel, be safe and travel safe. For example, when the dam gates are opened, the color of the water changes, second, the temperature changes, third, the twigs come in. Fortunately or unfortunately, if some person would have known these facts or tips earlier, they would have alarmed and all the 24 lives would have saved. And it was a government decision. The moment 24 children were killed, the government has taken a hasty decision to say that no more colleges outing. Now you tell me the best part of life is an outing during the college, and this hasty step has totally dropped Manali tourism by at least not less than 5,000 to 6,000 room nights. Many hoteliers in Manali were saying that students groups are not coming from Hyderabad, not coming from AP, not coming from Telangana. So safety does not impact the tourist, but it also impacts the tourism
Sector itself.
Right.
So you're saying basically that it is the onus of the safety is mainly on the tourist.
Right. See, I always say it is on the tourist, but however, I would also request all the tour operators. It hardly takes 2 minutes time to give a small disclaimer when you are going to hill station, you are at a higher altitude. When you go to Kedarnath, Badrinath, you have this disposable oxygen cylinder. If you are at a higher altitude at 8,000 feet, you can use those disposable oxygen cylinders. So end of the day, our endeavor is to maximize the information. And whenever a person is going on a travel, he is either booking is through online or through a tour operator. So tour operator can just go an extra mile saying that, hey, these safety precautions, you follow it, you will have a good holiday, you will have a good pilgrimage. And even the online companies, when you book the ticket, they can have a small printout. Okay, your location is towards the beach. If there is a rip current, don't get panicked. Always swim parallel to the beach, and wherever you feel the water level is slowing down, there you try to escape. So any location, and even the beauty part. My wife is a dermatologist, she's a doctor. She says many women come to her and say that we got tanned. So see, you use SPF which is 20-25 odd in the market, but when you go on higher altitudes or in desert, use SPF 50.
Are you saying that it's perhaps sensible to do that kind of research to the terrain and the topography and the culture and the geography that you're traveling to? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because see, the reason being simple. Whenever there are pilgrimages, till now I feel so sad that every pilgrimage in a year we undergo loss of life. Simple, whenever you are on a pilgrimage, just learn to be near the railings, near the wall. Don't be between the crowd. You know, when there's a stampede, the power of the people is equal to 3 engines of a train. Of course, we cannot explain it in words to you. But what the best way you can keep yourself safeguarded in pilgrimages, keep yourself or your children towards a wall or towards the railing. It's a simple tip. But we unfortunately, in the eagerness to get the darshan, we end up losing our life. So these small tips, if you are aware, all the parents and kids are safe.
Okay. And I have now a very genuine question for you. Does your wife enjoy holidays with you?
Oh, she does, undoubtedly. Now don't ask the other question now. The other question, do you enjoy the holidays, is not the question. The question is, your wife enjoys the holidays? Yes, she does.
And she's safe.
And she's safe. Oh yes. And I just have something to add to the aspect of wildlife tourism. Hopefully the situation will not arise where you have to scare the animal, because animals are friendly. They don't actually feel the urge to scare you or eat you up, because you have to follow some rules. Wear lighter clothes, wear clothes which camouflage to the forest, don't make a noise, don't honk. be safe and keep the animals safe as well. That's really critical. But thank you for these. These are very interesting, and it just reflects the various aspects there are to tourism, and how very important it is today to be a responsible, very aware and a well-researched traveller. Yes, we'll play it by the ear. We'll go there and find out and explore. All of that is fun, but it's always good to read a little bit about where you are, what to do, and how to keep yourself safe. And that's not just for India, but for any other part in the world, isn't it? Because we all love traveling, and we all travel to every part of the world. I'd like to end this conversation with a little about what you are doing at the moment, Dr. Sandeep Mane, in Mumbai and in many parts of India. What is this campaign, and how exactly are you going to make sure that India is right there in the central or in the top 3 when it comes to medical tourism? What is the word? Medical help in the world.
Like we are talking about safety in traveling, food culture, yoga, so many things that we have taken for granted, and not each individual is not aware about these things. And I'm worried about, in fact, these are specific situations. I'm worried about lifestyle. Humans have made life unhealthy. I'm sorry, I'm making a very drastic statement.
No, that's very true.
Mind and body, 2 areas we've been talking, and soul. We've never ever learned the technique to develop our minds, technique to develop our bodies. We're just doing what we want to do. Technology is making us really crazy, and nobody's able to handle this. This is where stress comes. We are not mentally ready to handle this. Now, when we talk all this, what is the way forward is to create awareness, to make people realize at school level. So our foundation that I've started, we designed it for health, education and art, because these are 3 languages the world understands. Health is same everywhere, education is same everywhere, and art is same everywhere. So in these areas, what we started doing is going to the medical colleges. I started teaching the medical students the importance of doctors taking responsibility, not just treating problems, but preventing problems, such as for safety. How can we create awareness of smoking? How can we reduce accidents? How can we reduce issues such as cleanliness and dirt everywhere, which are issues for infections? So I think these doctors are now realizing that medical profession is not just about business or money. It is about service to the society. It is a social responsibility when you come into this profession, and the government and the University of Maharashtra have very well backed this movement we are doing. We go to various medical colleges, allopathic, ayurvedic, nursing, and teach all these healthcare trainees about the future. The beautiful part has been they're all geared up now. They're all agreed to look after this, and yoga, like you mentioned, ancient medicine, the ancient Indian medicine and modern medicine. I'm a doctor of modern medicine. So when I went to Ayurvedic colleges, I realized that the control of the mind being the source of all the physical problems, what are we doing to prevent our problems, like such as food or intellect, thought and school education? We are only cramping knowledge, cramping books, getting percentages and feeling proud that our child has scored 90%. Now that thought process must change. We must change the education system. This is a huge drive, a vision. I've got a dream, and I believe I'll be successful because everybody understands this. This is not something new to anybody, but the formula to get this happening has not been designed, and I'm sure when we all start thinking about it, that formula will come forward, and I believe India will actually tell the world, I believe so, what is the way forward, because our ancient past knew what was good for humanity. We did not take it seriously, and now the new generation is thinking this is all too old-fashioned kind of, but it's not actually. The future will be that.
Sure, brilliant. Thank you very much for that thought. I wish you very well, Dr. Mane.
Add one sentence to that. That yes, the ancient knowledge which our youth thinks is very old is what my vision is, that we need to educate them about the wisdom which was there in the ancient texts as well as in the ancient books and manuscripts, so that once they are aware of the wisdom beneath, they get the belief and the pride to study that, with conviction.
When
And they have given the right information. They are very willing to learn. You know, they're very hooked onto that, and suddenly you realize they want it. It's not, but nobody gave it to them. That's the problem, actually.
Yes. But I think that trend is changing, and I think the world is already looking with an open mind on how to go back to roots. Going back to roots is a very fascinating concept, which people are taking to, and I'm sure with champions like you in whatever you do in your own individual professional life, it'll only contribute to that very concept. So thank you very much for doing what you do individually, and thank you for joining me on this conversation. Dr. Mane, truly Britain's loss, NHS's loss that you're away in India and not in Britain anymore, but you are an Indian man. And
in fact, the reference letter by one of my consultants when I was going back to India from England was UK's loss is India's gain, is what he wrote to the hospital where I was applying.
But you always belong to India, isn't it? You're an Indian man, Indian at heart, and that's where your work would truly be. So thank you. Write your feedback. ooe@ndtv.com is where you write to. I have Rupa Ladzenberger, who's a travel enthusiast herself, who's helping me with the camera. Rupa, if you could show the entire aisle that really India has occupied here at the World Travel Market. That's that whole stretch that you're seeing, and I see these lanterns which are all perhaps topical because it's Diwali that's around the corner this entire month. Even London celebrates Diwali. These are all different countries that have come here to put up their stalls to contribute to their tourism sector. But India truly having a very, very special place, because people, the minute you say the Indian stall is somewhere around the corner, there are lots of people running here. I wonder sometimes whether that's only to eat the chakli and the coconut chips that are at the counter, but that's part of India, isn't it? The food and the food tourism again is part of it. Well, thank you very much. Write your feedback. ooe@ndtv.com is where you write to. I repeat, ooe@ndtv.com is where you write to. I'll be waiting for your emails. Keep watching NDTV. Radhika Iyer signing off from the World Travel Market in London. Thank you. Goodbye.